Hey guys, welcome to the Silver Report. Today is January 11th, 2017. And today I wanted to get into a little bit about why I invest in silver, why you should invest in silver. And we'll start off with this principle. I'm the kind of guy, I view the world, from other people's eyes. I try to, at least. And so that's the basic premise is number one, when it comes to information, if you're controlling an economy, if you're controlling the US dollar, I know that now it's a fiat currency, you are not going to tell, like, what did they call the stock market crash before the Great Depression? They called it the panic in the 1920s, the Great Panic. And that's when the populace panics. They all rush to remove their money from the stock market. They move in packs until it was an uncontrolled plummet. The banks started shutting their doors. They were not giving people their money because they lost it. They didn't have the money. Same thing happened in '08. It was another stock market panic. Every time there's a massive drop in the Dow, they call it a panic because people move in packs. So that translates to a system that is stable based upon trust. So they need to have you believe that the economy is healthy and functioning. It is necessary, absolutely necessary, that they have you believe. So when it comes to the validity of their claims and their reporting, it's not 100%. They can't be trusted. They have a vested interest in having you believe that the economy is booming right now, that things are great, and they're not going to tell you that there are any problems. Even amidst massive drops, you'll see reports from the press reporting that there's a recovery, that it was a mistake. They'll divert the attention onto other subjects. They'll run propaganda streams. So number one, I start off with the premise is I don't believe the things I'm told. I look at facts. I try to research myself into what's really going on, because you can't believe the things that people are telling you are going on. You got to find out what the truth is. And the truth is this, that silver, overall, it was in our pocket change. It was in our pocket change. It was in the pockets of every American that even had a dime to his name going up. So it was something that was common. Small increments of only 10 cents. Since that time, and it was 1964 was the last year that coins were made with 90% silver. After that, there was a few years there was 40%. Now they're selling at astronomical inflated numbers. For example, you look at a American Silver Eagle. They will sell you a $1 coin, which is approximately the same way. It's 1 ounce, a troy ounce. So that would be approximately $1.25 in the old silver currency, approximately, to equal that amount. So that's a $1 coin from the U.S. Mint, the same people that produce it, for the inflated prices. So overall, the gains from that time. So we'll work with that figure, $1.25 in U.S. currency in 1964 and change. Now there'll be 1 troy ounce approximately, which, as we look at the market right now, it is $16.90. So just the base price of a troy ounce of silver is $16.90. So if you look at the increase in the value over time, and it's holding strong. It seems to be around a baseline, a solid, stable point. It is holding. It could change. It could increase. It could decrease. but the point remains the same, that from $1.25, the record for silver increasing in value is still there. Number two, the printing of money. If we look at our nation's debt right now, $18 trillion, the highest it has ever been in the history of the world. The highest national debt in the history of the world, and the highest debt in the history of the United States of America for this country. So, have you seen some documentaries about the Federal Reserve System, that we are in a debt slavery system? Where does the money come from to pay that debt? It needs to be printed into existence. When you see people that are really bad with credit cards, for example, you see them get put under the point where they're only paying off interest. They're paying 3-4 times the value of an object that they've purchased, and they're only paying off interest, and they could be doing this for years. We're to the point now where we must devote all GDP to paying off this debt. And is that really realistic? No, it's not. It's not realistic that we are ever going to pay off this debt. So it's inevitable that more money will be printed. So money has been printed, not backed by anything. More money will be printed. So number one, I don't trust the media. I don't just go with the crowd like the panics. The crowd is excited, the crowd is not excited, either way. One thing I know for sure. Number two, that the price, the value of silver has steadily increased from that time until now. There was a panic in the 70s, and it went up high then. A lot of people were buying silver, went back down. But one thing is for certain, it's still above that 1964 amount of $1.25, 1 troy ounce, being $1.25 and in everybody's pocket. So the value is always increasing. Number three, because of the printing of money, which will continue, this national debt that we're at, it will continue. And because of this, this value is only set to continuously rise. Now, there may be parts where it drops down lower, goes up higher, but one thing is certain, the value will always increase. Apart from a scenario in which the dollar would collapse entirely, these points alone are enough to influence my personal investment in silver. So apart from that, now secondly, the geopolitical tension that's within the world. If you're watching the news cycles, the world is in a dangerous position right now. We're in multiple wars. Some wars we're not talking about. There's a number of countries that have been tipping in on no longer using the U.S. dollar to sell petroleum in. So there is a promise of more wars. This cannot be allowed to occur. If that were to occur, all of these monies that they printed into existence, this rigged system, because the system is rigged. It is not your system. If your money's in it, you're in their system. And the market is rigged. It's a rigged game. It's similar to walking into a casino and you think you're going to walk out a winner. The worst thing that could ever happen to you in a casino is that you walk out $1,000 richer, because you will be a victim the rest of your life to this thought that somehow you're going to be benefiting from this system. And it's just not true. You see, your money is not money. They have the ability to create more or less at will. And it's holding on by a thread. It's holding on because the world needs to sell oil in the dollar. That is the only value of our currency. If you look around at some of the factories in our country, we're just not producing anymore. There is a great promise after this election that there will be a revival of manufacturing, and that would be a good thing. But we're not producing. These buildings are closed. The malls around the country are closing. Spending is down. People just can't take the risk of spending their money. The money is not circulating, though they've printed it. This is similar to what happened after World War II in Germany, when they printed all of the money for the war effort, and no one really knew the difference until the war ended. And then their currency, they were using it to cover their walls for insulation. It was worthless. And they get there and they say, well, how did this happen? It's because this money has been printed and people are holding on to their money, their checks. They're using it for necessities. They're not excess spending. So a major part of our economy revolves around spending on holiday shopping, which we saw figures drop dramatically over the past 3 years. They were up a little bit this year compared to last year, but they're still down. They're still down. We are in a recession. We're not recovering. And they want to make you think that we're in a great economy, that things are going well. And it comes back to point number one, is that they have an incentive to make you believe that things are okay. Up until the moment that everything falls apart, they will tell you that everything is great. The optimism is soaring. People's confidence is high. Spending is great, but it's just not true. You could tell by these major retailers, these layoffs, these closing factories, all of the production in the United States going down. Can this change? It might, but we have to face the facts. Is your money safe? If most of what you believe in this market is dependent on people's confidence, if all of it comes from people's faith in a currency, in an economy, which is unfounded, which is untruthful. And when you look around and, regardless of what political opinion you are, you find people that are entirely and totally devoted to opposites of what you believe and you see as the world and truth. So there are people who will believe it just because people tell them. I'm not one of those people, but this economy is held together just based upon that belief that it's okay, and not on figures, not on facts. So it's dependent on that. When that notion begins to change, when people begin to believe things are not what they appear to be, they're not okay, or if in one of these geopolitical situations that these countries pull out of the dollar and enough of them band together in some type of world war situation where they have allies and they're strong and they decide that they're just not going to do it anymore, they're not going to be beaten down into submission to the US dollar anymore, we'll find very quickly what happened back in the 1960s when we no longer used silver or gold for our currency. It's a big idea. Possessing your own money, real money, outside of this system, outside of this failing system. And if you have enough to set aside, if you're not of the same worldview, it's what you need to do is take. Someone mentioned the other day, use it as a savings tool. Take $100 out of your paychecks and put it into silver. Hold it, keep it, because the value is guaranteed to rise. It's proven year over year that it is always increasing in value because this currency becomes worth less and less. Those are the kind of swings we see on a couple of daily basis, is where it drops $1 or $2 is because the strength of the dollar increases on the fly. But that's how you see just how temporary it all is. The belief in that unit of currency is what holds it all together. So while it's cheap, while you still have the availability, it's not going to get much cheaper. Even if it is, buy more, cover your losses. It is, and it's just human nature not to buy in at these low levels, and I understand that. But now is the time, because when it begins to rise, when the money begins to flow, you're not going to be able to get your hands on it. You're going to miss the boat. So it's the safest bet to get in now while you have the chance. And if you're not ready to jump in with both feet, take a little away, save a little bit, get some in your hands, see how it feels. But it's about protecting your assets, your family, about securing some way to be able to take care of yourself in the event that everything that you believe is not really true at all. But all right, I thank you guys for joining me today on the Silver Report. Today is January 11th, 2017. If you like the content, leave a comment in the comment section about upcoming episodes, something you would like to see or hear. Also like, share, subscribe to the channel. There'll be more videos like this coming up. But again, thank you guys very much. Have a great day.